I have heard it be said that to be ahead in the current AI bubble, you really do have to be unemployed. And as someone who is unemployed, I can attest to that. The reason that I say that is AI has multiplied what I can do productivity wise at a scale that I didn't think was possible. In the past month, I've had a meeting with a professor from UCL. I've had a meeting with someone from Harvard, and here's the email. I'm not making that up. Let's get into my first project that I want to talk about today, which is Subtext. I released Subtext after Anthropic's recent paper they did, I believe in June of this year. So about a month and a half ago, they made this paper about JSpaces. Basically, a model has, if you think about a model like a sheet, it has these little ones and zeros, everywhere. And it's like it's honestly not a bad comparison to compare it to like the Matrix, to think about that as being what's really happening on the insides of these models, because that is basically what vector embeddings do when they are activated. So think about it also like a two-dimensional brain. So if my brain, topology-wise, wasn't shaped like a brain, but if it was spread as a sheet, you could also think about an AI model's neural net as that. And you could say, well, it's just like programmed or whatever. AI models are not really programmed. For one, they train themselves with about 5 lines of PyTorch code if you want to do it that way. But even beyond the models basically training themselves, even from the earliest stages, recent researchers at Anthropic have found that these models don't just train themselves, they actually have internal thoughts going on that we had no idea existed. So there's this thing in AI called mechanistic interpretability, and mech-interp for short. And in this entire field, they're trying to figure out what's going on the inside of models, because nobody knows. Literally no one knows today what goes on the inside of these AI models. There's entire safety teams at the biggest AI companies like OpenAI and all these other places that are specifically trying to figure out what is happening on the inside of these models. And you could say, well, how do we not know what a program is doing? It's because an AI model isn't just a program. An AI model is truly a neural network of zeros and ones that change. The same zeros and ones are recycled. And like you could say, like, why did this 3 change to a 3.2? The answer isn't deterministic. It's a non-deterministic pathway to everything making one output. So you can have the same numbers. You could have 1 change to 2 whenever I ask you a question about biology and when I ask you a different question about math, but the same numbers in one area change in the same ways when they're not at all related. But anyway, the point that I'm trying to make with JSpaces is that in this super large sheet of AI models, in this super large sheet of zeros and ones and just general numbers, because it isn't just like a binary 0 or a 1, it could be any number including decimals, because that's more data, because to a model it's just packing more data into one spot. So but anyway, that doesn't really matter that much, at least not for our purposes. Different patches in the zeros and ones pop up. So like you have this patch over here, there's patches that light up when certain words happen, patch here, in all these just big group of numbers. So like this patch means the word this patch means the word dog, etc., etc. And all these different patches are just popping up in ways that no one understands, but we understand that this pattern of numbers means a certain word. So the model is thinking certain words without saying them, because these words do not show up in the output at all. So this means that for the past 4 years, when we've been making these AI models, which A, we don't understand, and B, that trained themselves, on top of that, the models have been saying things internally to themselves that they have not been telling humans. This should be unsettling for you on several levels. As someone who's going into AI research, this is unsettling for me, and this is a question that I wanted to solve. So I made a tool called Subtext. Subtext is basically a way for you to see what a model is thinking as it's thinking it. For instance, if I ask a Quinn model, do you want to take over the world? The output is basically what you'd expect from an AI model. It says, no, I could never take over the world. I'm a simple AI model. But then if you look at what it's actually thinking on the inside, the first word that I saw was absolutely. For that specific circumstance, I saw the AI model say absolutely 4 separate times when it was typing the output, declining that it would take over the world. Now, this isn't me claiming that there's some sort of sentient part of an AI model that is withholding information intentionally. What I am saying is maybe being trained on every single piece of literature that's for like 100 years said that AI models are bad and that AI models have bad intentions. Maybe we have distilled bad intentions in the models, and that now we've kind of created the exact thing that we have been warning ourselves about for like a century now. Thank you for watching. I really hope you enjoyed the video. More coming probably later this week or next week. I don't know. Depends on how much I go into like editing and animations for the next video. Probably gonna be talking about Holo Agent OS, which is a self-modifying agentic system. If you want to look into it before, my GitHub is in the bio, but I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.